Today's the day we do our review of Halo Infinite's multiplayer. Let's jump right into it. Our anxieties have been realized, our black pills have been swallowed, and our black pearls have been stolen. We are in a Halo 5 launch cycle. So to kick things off, we have no infection at launch, no forge, and no co-op campaign. Now, of course, the forge and co-op campaign, we were told about that in advance from Joseph Staten, that they were not going to be there at launch. However, we would be getting them a few months later. Today, however, IGN informed us that that is no longer the case. Campaign is going to not be here until May of 2022, possibly later, and Forge is going to take even longer. I am, of course, deeply disappointed by this information and can't help but feel that the game should have been delayed. But we'll get to all that later. In addition to the no infection at launch, we also have no free-for-all or multi-team at launch. In the case of multi-team, I'm not really sure how they're going to work that in. They could, and I'm sure they might, also have 10 maps in rotation. Most of these maps play well, so I'm not really bothered by it, to be honest with you. With the existing game modes, the maps seem to play pretty well, with one exception, which is funny because this one exception, I feel the map was made specifically for this game type, and it still sucks.
One flag.
No, we're gonna have to play an extra round of this shit.
Oh my god!
Give him the.
Let's go, let's go! Go! Dude, we're gonna fucking.
There's a rocket.
We're gonna kinda clutch this shit. You guys got it, you guys got it! I believe!
That's why I hate this map. I hate this map.
Now, thankfully, we also have confirmation from, what was it, Brian, I think his name is. We have confirmation that next week we're getting more maps in addition to the Fracture event, which I believe starts on Tuesday. I'm not sure how many maps we're going to get. Hell, it could just be one map for all I know. I feel that plenty enough people have spoken up about the grindy battle pass in place of an actual progression system, so I won't beat a dead moa about it. However, there are 2 points that I'd like to bring up. One that Sean W. brought up in his review of the game that I'd like to reconvey. If you don't buy the Battle Pass, almost everything you get in the free tiers are just more XP boosts. Ones that only progress you through the intentionally arduous Battle Pass system, meant to coerce you to pay to skip the tiers since the incentive of FOMO isn't there. Meaning that the XP boosts from the free tiers only help you if you intend to pay 3 for 3 down the line for a new Battle Pass. Again, let's just say that you weren't going to buy a new Battle Pass and you intended to play free-to-play from now until you stop playing Infinite permanently. You will be playing the game to get more XP boosts to help you complete battle passes that will just give you more XP boosts. So I heard you like XP, so here's an XP for your XP. For those of you who don't know what fear of missing out is, that's what... For those of you who don't know what FOMO is, that is, of course, fear of missing out. That is a incentive that game developers use to get you to purchase something impulsively. That's the whole point of store refreshes or battle passes in this particular case, where after a certain period of time, your pass will expire and you're unable to obtain the goods in the battle pass, even if you already dropped money on the battle pass. Now, thankfully, 3 for 3 did a very good change to most games that have battle passes, making it so that once the season's over, your pass does not expire, so to say. They just release a new one, and you can continue to play and work on the battle pass you already paid for. The problem here that we're facing is that the battle passes take a long fucking time. Let's say that you drop $210 on the battle pass, $10 for the pass, and $200 to skip all the levels in the battle pass, or roughly $10 and 400 hours to complete the battle pass. You'll still find that the customization in Halo Infinite is drier than my Halo can't fucking finish this sentence.
Whirlpool going down.
You'll still find that the customization is drier than my Tinder date after hearing my pickup line about being a 152 on Halo 5. I'm just kidding. I'm a 152 on Halo 5. I don't have a girlfriend. Alright everyone, Corporate wants you to tell the difference between these two pictures.
And bottom plant's absolute. He's absolute amazing.
So how is it that people who survived playing through Halo 5 long enough to get 152 and not yeet themselves off a main cannon into oblivion get this coating that looks really close to a coating that you get from the start, whereas if you drop $10 on the store, you get coatings that are distinguishable from all others available. Alright, so the black pill's tasting pretty better, so I'm gonna OD on some copamine here. Halo Infinite has really solid gameplay. Gameplay-wise, I'd wager it rivals that of Halo 2 or 3. Again, in terms of gameplay, fun factor, etc.
We have eyes on the enemy flag carrier.
Triple kill.
Over there.
Fighting over a skull heading.
Why we fighting?
Victory.
Don't ask questions.
So like, let's just say like the skull has like a little bit of meat on it left, and like the world's starving, so we're all fighting over what little meat is on the skull.
Fuck out of here. Ah!
Lost
Damn.
a teammate.
Yeah, so okay.
Taking damage.
Grab the Rocky Colors.
Double kill.
Or as fuck and miss all my shots next game. That's literally what's gonna happen. I'm gonna miss all my shots next game because these guys are making me do push-ups.
Capture their flag,
Oh,
but don't neglect
hate when I
ours.
start like
I'm at 50 in a row. It's a journey to 100 push-ups without stopping.
It's always this map that I load.
Oh! You got Rocky.
Going for over? You got it.
put on our market. You want rocket?
The grenades, however, feel like they were copy and pasted from Halo 5. Frankly, they're my biggest gripe with the gameplay, and if that's the biggest gripe, I think that we're doing okay. Coming, again, from Halo 5, I'd say that the sidekick is a welcome addition to the game, and will make Infection a joy to play when it does finally arrive 6 months from now. This coupled with the new shotgun, I feel that we're honestly looking at a new golden age of matchmaking Infection. I mean, for all the shit that I will give Halo 5 and its horrible design choices, after all this time, Halo 5 Infection's actually pretty good. To add to that point, Infection's going to be really fun when you have Forge maps. If you have ever played Halo 5's Forge in the past year on matchmaking, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like the scripting, the curated linear maps that almost play out like missions for it. It's pretty tight, not gonna lie. And I'm looking forward to it when it does launch, but that's just the thing. That comes out later. The game's out now. So how do I feel about it now? I would tell anyone who will listen to me to try it. I mean, it's free, right? Why not? With that being said, there are truly glaring issues that I was worried about since the launch of Halo 5 6 years ago. And that was that we'd be looking at another launch cycle like Halo 5, which was just unacceptable. And it's not acceptable now. It's simply not. As much as I really like the gameplay, the maps, the scenery, and the sandbox, I just can't shake the feeling that the game is incomplete. I feel like it's intentional, but I don't want to spread misinformation about the studio. But it's really frustrating. This is something I can't believe that they wouldn't have seen coming. Back to matchmaking. There's a very limited selection available to us in matchmaking. There's quick play, bots, big team, and ranked. Those are your 4 options, and that's it. That to me is boring. There's very little flavor, very little spice. As they say, variety is the spice of life. Well, it's also the spice of Halo, and let me fucking tell you, it's like white people spicy right now. It's like, oh man, this ranch is spicy. Yeah, it's dull as a motherfucker. It's duller than my fucking comedy in these fucking videos, and I can't believe any of you watch this shit. Putting matchmaking aside, although, again, I was aware of Forge's absence at launch, I can really feel the impact of its absence in both matchmaking and custom games. Imagine if Halo Infinite had launched with Forge alongside a version of Halo Infinite that didn't launch with Forge. If they both launched with 10 maps made by 343, and the one with Forge allowed for people to custom make maps to have uploaded to matchmaking, we'd have a lot more maps a lot faster with the one with Forge right now. We wouldn't be feeling this lack of variety. But in addition to matchmaking and its lack of maps, where Forge being gone really hurts us in addition to that is custom games. The lack of Forge in custom games means that you can't make custom game maps. So you'd have to play these custom games on vanilla maps. That's a big problem. If you've ever played custom games before, you know what I'm talking about. It's very plain. You can play Slayer on any of the maps. You can play Oddball on any of the maps. You can play Capture the Flag on any of the maps, but you can do that in matchmaking. That's not custom. That's a private game. All things into consideration, I'd have to give Halo Infinite multiplayer a ranking of 5 out of 10. I plan to update this in the future when things have improved, because this game does have real potential. The base is there. We have a great game that's just buried beneath a lot of shit that needs to get piled off. We need to grab our shovels and get the diamond out of this shit hole that is Halo Infinite. If people want a review on the campaign, I'd be happy to oblige. Just let me know in the comments section if you guys want one, and I'll make sure to get it done in a timely fashion. As for today, this is the end of the video. I'm gonna head out because I've got more emails to send Monster about those codings they didn't give me. See ya.